Hey folks, it's Brian. We got to play last night. We did have some issues starting out. One of my players called in earlier saying he had to work late, so he was going to be late to the game, which is fine. That happens. And a follow-on, not issue, but situation, one of my other players is like in Singapore, and so he wasn't able to get to his hotel room in time to actually play with us. He would have gotten online as we were closing up, kind of thing. But I had two other players that had tech issues, timing issues to get online. It actually took us quite a while to get to play. In fact, we were supposed to start at 8:30. My player had to work late, wasn't going to be able to get online until 9:30. It was somewhat after when he did, but we were still working some tech issues when he actually got on, so he didn't miss anything. Okay, so we left off the players inside the stone building with the stairwell going down into the darkness. When they got to the bottom of the stair, and if you want to watch the live play or listen to it, it's in the description. So they get down to the bottom of the stairs. And there's some check-in and some discussion, and it was brought up about, didn't somebody run down the stairs from the bad guys up front? Yeah, that's true. There was a fifth guy on the stairwell that after the combat began, he wasn't there when the combat was over. Yeah, he did run down. This is one of the beauties, I guess, of the way I develop NPCs. I use a spreadsheet, random number generation. So all the stats on all of my monsters, for actual NPCs, guys you actually interact with or have a personality or something I'm actually dealing with, I handle those. But for the random, monsters, all the brew, the trolls out in the woods, all that kind of stuff, it's all random numbers. They're just regular people, right? So you can end up with people that end up being really, really weak. And then I adjust skill percentages based on a random generation of their age and a random generation factor of level. That's something that I kept over from my RQ3 days. No, that's just age. Level came from Fancy Trip. So we got these random factors involved. So you end up with these, 19-year-old kids with no real experience, with an 8 constitution. Stay in the back. If the fight gets going bad, run for help. That's what we did. So anyway, make it down the bottom stairs. And Lars is in front. There's some discussion about, tracking order and that sort of thing, and who's carrying the light. And okay, if you've got your shield in your left hand, you've got a torch in your left hand. The shield you can do, but a torch is on fire, right? How are you doing this? But not unreasonable, just a little quirky, right? So they check around. You can see that the hallway goes for a while, and then there's a rope bridge that goes through a chasm to a hallway on their side. They can't quite see the far end. He goes out a little bit. In the middle of this rope bridge is actually a T intersection. The rope bridge goes off to their side. There are 4 rope posts on this rope bridge going up, tying off on stalactites. And you can see the cavern goes that way. The crevice, it's been broken into, or there's been like an earthquake or something, right? So cavern off that way and a cavern back behind, or across. So rope bridge across, rope bridge over that direction, hallway on the far side. So he takes one of the torches and he tosses it. Now you can throw up to 20 meters, and it wasn't obviously that far, but I mean, when you're throwing 20 meters outside softball kind of stuff, right? You need some height. So I kind of figured, okay, this is about 10, 12 meters. I think about it, that's 30, 36 feet maybe. The distance wise isn't that much of an issue, but it's how do you lob it? But I just haven't rolled. I don't worry about it too much. In case you haven't noticed, I am a number cruncher. My bachelor's degree is in applied physics, so that always keeps pulling into my game. I want it to be believable, right? I'm not too much in the cinematic, and I don't mean to sound cynical about that, but I am. And so it's gotta make sense to me. Is what it comes down to. Does it make sense to me? Okay. Can you lob it? Yeah, you can lob it. That far's not an issue, but is there enough height through the cavern so you can go into that hallway on the far side, hit the floor, bounce a few times. Okay, yeah, it gets up there. It hits the doors on the far side and falls back. So it's in the middle of this intersection on the far end, and there's just double doors that it hit. So you can see the double doors. They can tell there's kind of a hallway there kind of thing, and it's all lit up. And there's some discussion about, okay, Subutai was captured. What happened to Subutai? What'd you do? And Subutai gave a description of what he remembered. It wasn't exactly correct, so I made a couple corrections to that. And the party decides, okay, we are going to go down because they know if they go through the double doors, there's going to be a huge encounter because they've all been warned and they know there's people in there. And so they take off to the rope bridge on the right and have to travel down that way. Now, I had not been anticipating that. Well, not totally. I mean, I had the enemy's plan in play that involves people down that hallway, but I wasn't expecting the party to just bypass and go that way, which is fine. It worked out, So, rope bridge to hallway, the rope bridge to hallway. Well, in that first hallway piece, as they're walking along, there's a little lantern sconce kind of thing. And one of the players asks if there's oil in it. And go, well, you're going to reach up there because there's some stuff going on here. Yeah, well, it's hot. And so there's some discussion. Okay, is it hot like it had recently been burned out? Because it's not giving off any light. There's no light in the hallway. It's hot like it's still burning. And so he tries to blow it out, make a couple of rolls. Okay, yeah, first time didn't quite work. Second time did. Is that really that important? No. But it goes for the story, right? He tries to blow it out, doesn't. Blow a little harder. Okay, yeah, it seems to be going after things starting to cool down. And so they bring it down. I didn't really describe it well. The way I had envisioned it is kind of like a torchlight kind of thing, where you've got a bowl that's holding the oil, and then you got a wick that's stuck in there, right? So that's how it burns, right? But you don't want to be carrying that kind of thing around in your hand because the oil will come pouring out, as you're not paying too much attention if things are that way, right? But Lars lights it with his torch, and it's giving off real light now. So they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on with this whole situation, and we'll discuss it in the after play. Although maybe I tried to do an after play on session 2, and it just did not happen. They didn't really have any questions. Okay, no problem. It's kind of what were you thinking episode is what I was trying to do. Anyway, so they got the lamp, and it's giving off real light now. So Lars is having that. The lamps can be either hung by a chain, or that's kind of as they're walking along. That's just kind of figuring why he's hanging by a chain, so he's hanging up low. Kind of, I don't know, but anyway, he's carrying the lamp. Going down the hallway, there's another one. Oh, rope bridge. Oh, and when they go through rope bridges, there are these vampire bats up there. Just a nuisance encounter. I pick up. Well, the scenario's got giant bats. I use vampire bats for the fancy trip, so it's just a nuisance encounter, really quick, easy mechanic. How many are there? You roll d6 for each one. A 1, 2, 3, they hit. Their hits add up, and they do damage kind of thing. There should have been some blood loss, maybe. I'll have to reinvestigate vampire bats again. No, it's like rats. Vampires don't like rats. They just add up. Okay, so spiders have poison. Scorpions have poison, that kind of thing. So, first one attack. First one, there's like 4 of them that come fluttering down somebody's arm. Like 2 or 3, made contact, so no damage, not get through the armor kind of thing. Second one was Subutai, same thing. His armor absorbed the damage. I get in the hallway, the second hallway. And the lamp, they take the lamp, they blow the lamp out. I think somebody takes it, puts it in a bag kind of thing. It should be. Well, I won't worry about it right now. But anyway, then this hallway turns. So they turn the corner. Hallway goes down a bit forward, and it kind of opens up into an area. And there's like a hallway or something on the other side that is there. So they all move forward. Lars comes around the corner to the open area, and like a foot in, there's this big, heavy black curtain. And kind of describe this is attached to the wall. It's got bronze rings in the wall that the carpet is attached to, right? So Lars sticks his sword underneath the I keep thinking carpet for some reason. I was doing that last night too. The curtain, and goes to lift it up. Well, as he starts to do that, something on the other side slams it down. So roll. Okay, statements of intent. We're now in initiative, right? What happens? There are guys on the other side, and one of them stepped on it because they're standing there and they're watching and listening, and they saw the sword coming up and slammed on it. So Lars has to do a strength contest to pull it out. No issues with that. People start funneling forward. They want to funnel everybody around. And so there's some discussion on movement and shifting. And, hey, I'm in the back. I want to get front. Kind of happens. But they do all this shifting. And at the end of the round, the curtains part and 3 of these guys come pouring out. There's only room for 3 guys on the other side of the carpet. In fact, there's a 4th guy if you pull the carpet further back. But, c'est la vie. Now, at this point, we're at strike rank like 10, and Subutai brings up a question about, well, his strike rank with his sword is 6 or whatever. Can he attack? And I should have said, no, there's not enough time because you don't have a target, and you didn't say, I'm going to move here and wait for somebody to come through the carpet again, the curtain, and so I'm waiting to attack whoever comes through that curtain is getting hit. I think that may have been his intent, which is why I may have just said, well, okay, that's what he's thinking. So curtains open, guys tunnel through, and he attacks, and so I let somebody else attack, and I didn't let the bad guys attack back. I should have. Their intent was, we're casting these spells, we're going to they're casting spells, so that took up a lot of time. And the strike ranks weren't, the strike ranks were low enough, but with the movement, they may have, they should have had for 12. They should have been able to hit on 12. So it should have been, okay, we're going to move the carpet, step forward, and if there's anybody there, I'm hitting them. So the bad guys missed out on one round of hits, and because these guys are randomly generated, their strike ranks seem to be significantly lower than everybody else's. Plus, they cast coordination on the circle protection, so their strike ranks all go down by 1. So they're hitting fast. And that increases their chance to hit as well. If they're within 2 hexes of Lars. So at the first encounter up top with the guys in leather, I had them wait until, okay, things going bad, I'm going to cast Fanaticism now. And when they did that, that's usually the round they went down. So down here, I had them cast a couple of buff spells and then Fanaticism, and they go to attack. When you have Fanaticism up, you don't parry. Your attack values go up by half again. And these guys are wearing plate and chain and plate, so they got some decent armor on. But again, random generation of stats. A few of them don't have a damage bonus at all. The ones that do just have like a D4. Not much. And they're using short swords. So it's a D6 plus 1 plus a D4. That's 4, 5, 6 points of damage, averaging. So that's not a whole lot. So I was kind of relying on these guys, a couple of them, actually I think most of them, are fairly well experienced. So their percentages were already high to begin with. So you had half again. These guys were hitting well over 100%. So they were kind of relying on getting the specials to actually do their damage. And that only happened like once. So they beat these guys down pretty quick. Subutai does get nailed down. Legs are going down left and right. One guy lost an on the bad guy's side. They're getting leg hits left and right, so they're going prone. One guy gets his arm amputated, so he's incapacitated. He's not doing anything. Another guy they keep beating on, he goes down to be killed. There are three others actually. They're fighting Subutai and Restra and Boric. And as combat goes on, Boric wanted to attack. And if you look at the live play, this particular encounter was done on a different board, and it got really hard to see the hexes because it's a colored board, and so it's dark, so it's hard to see the lines of the hexes to tell, is there room in front of me, who's there, that kind of thing. And so there's some confusion on Boric hitting the guy in front of him because the guy in front of him actually got killed. So I just had him step forward, shift his strike rank to 6 instead of 5. That guy strikes at 6 as well, so he would have killed that guy on 6, but that guy's on 6 as well, so he gets to attack Subutai because that's who he's fighting. So that'll kind of washed. Subutai did get knocked down and got hurt pretty bad. Another guy on the ground is fighting him on the ground, so they're just kind of swapping back and forth there. Another couple of guys in the back. One guy comes forward and stepping on the other two. This guy's in leather as opposed to the guys in plate and chain, so this is the guy that ran down. So he's really weak. One shot, he's down. 2 points of leather and 10 hit points. And somebody did like 16 points of damage to him. So he was out. It was the abdomen shot, if I remember right. So it would take him down. So he's out. And then there's another couple rounds of fighting this other last guy, but they end up taking him down. So the party is generally unhurt. Subutai is. So they've got one party member hurt. They look around the room. It's kind of squarish. Another curtain on the far side. They go to the curtain on the far side. Boric is investigating. He opens it up because he didn't attack that first round, so he had stuff to do. He went to go look. Opens it up. There's a couple of braziers back there that have coals and smoke, that kind of incense going. And there's a statue in the middle. It looks like it's made of wood. It's got a cloaked kind of figure. But the head itself, which is a skull with horns, looks like it's floating above the body. Of course, it's floating above the body. Rester comes in, sees it, and I'm going to, chop this thing down because how close are you getting to it? I need to see where you are because things are going to happen in this room. So she comes to the room, this thing, and is waiting for. She's going to hack it as soon as everybody else is ready to start attacking it. Well, this thing has a spirit. Spirit attacks her. It's got 3 different attacks it can do. I'm thinking, first try to scare him off, then this other thing, and then finally the third thing kind of deal, right? So it's got a fear mechanism that it can invoke. It's like the fear spell. It's an effect, though. So everybody sees this blackness come out of the statue and engulf Arestra. I had her make the roll for the effect. It was not crouch and fear, but their fear for Constitution minus 20 rounds, and her Constitution is 13. So for 7 rounds, she's in a fear state, which is equivalent to the demoralized spell. So she attacks at half, that kind of thing, right? She kind of interpreted that she couldn't move, but technically she could. I mean, if you're afraid of something, you should back away, kind of thing. Everybody says, "Let's get out of here. This is not what we've been doing right now." And so she comes out. They'll turn around, go through the other curtain into the area, and there's this hallway on the far side where they were. Remember, the area opened up. There was a hallway on the west side of them that is blocked by a portcullis. And so they're investigating this. Bork wants to try and do a lift thing to see if he can, just to see, can he lift it up, kind of deal. But they see on the far side this female figure, dressed in what looks like leaves. There's some elder race lore. Somebody asked if it was an elf. Some elder race lore rolls are made. Borak made his. He's got 50%. He rolled a 5. So this is definitely not an elf. You can tell that because elves are kind of woody, tree-ish, that kind of thing, right? That's Glorantha elves are in fact plant people. They're not like D&D elves or Tolkien elves at all. They're kind of like Warhammer Dryads, if you're familiar with that. And somebody had mentioned online about the older they get, the more tree-ish they become, and I really like that concept. So young elves actually look kind of human. Their skin may be, barkish, that kind of thing, but they completely look human. Their hair may be, leafish, that kind of thing, right? So it's not that, but one of the other guys can summon a naiad, and so he's asking those kind of questions. Well, is it, essentially he was asking if it was a nymph, but he didn't make his roll. I'm thinking about giving him a side thing, saying, yeah, that was probably a nymph of some kind. But anyway, so she is obviously scared of something, and she's looking back and forth between the party and down the stairs, and the party and down the stairs. They try talking to her, she doesn't seem to react to that. One of the players tries storm speech. Doesn't seem to react to that either. And so they start looking around, and they find, Mark tries to lift, almost gets it. I mean, it budges, but that's it. And they look around, and there's in fact a mechanism in the hallway. So use the mechanism to crank it up, a couple feet. Lars is going to scoot through to kind of see around that corner to see what's going on. They got to the edge, so you can see how far down that far hallway I think we had, and it's stairs going down. So as soon as Lars gets underneath, though, the female, disappears. I should have elaborated that on a little more, in that it's like a spirit going insubstantial. But I think they kind of caught onto that. So Lars goes over to the stairwell, looks down, it goes past what his light can see, and the stairs are made of wood, not stone. So he gets back under. They leave it up for a while. Okay, if you want to go, you can go, and then they let it down. And that's where we ended the night. Play-wise, it was a kind of a short session. Because of all the issues getting started to begin with. But it was a good place to stop because there's that, and then I've got all of these combat rounds to figure out what the other guys are doing. Anything else? I've got to figure out a way to, like I said, I should not allow the party to attack at the end of the round, or allow the bad guys to attack as well. That kind of set the tone, because at that point the party was ahead by a round essentially, and they just whittled them down. These guys with the high skill percentages to begin with shouldn't go fanatic to begin with. They're doing fine. That way they can start parrying, and they can keep alive for a while, because they're going to hit. That's not an issue. It's more of staying alive longer kind of deal. Parrying that stuff out. Subadai did do some parries that ended up destroying his sword. One of the guys got a critical hit against a regular parry, I think it was. So all the damage went right into the sword. In fact, 4 points went through, and his armor stopped 3, so 1 got through to him, kind of thing. But it shattered it. It made his sword unusable. Now you can still attack with it and do half damage, but if you parry, it's not going to do anything. Interesting mechanic. So he looks around, and he got one of the short swords. Using the broadsword, he uses the short sword. The broadsword skill will be a little off to begin with, but eventually he'll come around to what he needs to be. Any other thoughts, issues with the night? No, I've got to figure out this balance between going fanatic in time versus too early. C'est la vie. Happy gaming.